everything litty, I love when it's hot. Turned to the city, I broke all the notch. Got some more minutes, I keep me a knot. I created history, it made me a lot. He tried to diss me and it no false. We call him Chaucer cause they gonna chop.
Are we rolling? Are we rolling? Oh, come on, I should have told you. So then I start properly.
We're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everybody. Sanibonani, Nomeni, Dumelang, Avusheng, good morning or hi, and all other official South African languages. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to the very first episode of a self-development program into business development. Igama lami usiyabonga umadoda phela olibhotshabhotsha ngamsengane umahlabe ehlungini ngivelingqakani kepha nawe ehlabathi inkunzi eshaya ngelundi likhule ngathi sithe sokhandini nga first break awusukani madoda isibongo umkhatsho abakhathwa ngezindlela ngezifishane kodwa ke ngigabe nangumondisi ngiyanamukela bafethu nonke nodadewethu. Okay, I think for the efficiency of the program, so that almost everybody that can be able to access it so that they can be able to understand. I'd use English majority, but I think for certain phrases, I think I'll use maybe my native language, which is Zulu. So I'm welcoming you to a program. What is the name of this program? It's called Personal Development into Business Development. What is that? What is a personal development program into business development? Well, a personal development program into business development, it's a program that came about. I would say it's not mainly about me, because when you see the first video into the introduction of this channel, you see everything that I come about to give to you. I don't give praise to me, but I give it to God, because how it just comes to my mind, I give praise to Him. So it's a program that aims to develop you as an individual into being able to develop any business that you may come across. So obviously, accounting student, majority, I'm talking to majority of you. Basically, this program is centered around you guys, because we want to be able to develop business. We want people who have characters that are able to develop any business. Majority of you can attest with me to the fact that when it comes to the content, everybody can understand the content, but after knowing that content, it's not everybody that is able to use it. Now, this program will come about into actually making you understand all the different aspects that come about into you making that final decision, that final judgment. Because at some point, you are in this degree, all that matters is that final judgment. What is the decision that you are going to take when you are writing a paper? And it also relates to the real life. What are you going to do when you are making that decision? So when you're talking about developing any business, you're talking about the ability to if sikufaka kwi-industry yaka-IT, okay, sure, awukwazi wenza IT, but you're an accounting student, you can work in any IT company. Ufike ukwazi ukuthi uthi khaqa, ne? Uma ngabe ngabe kuthiwa mhlambe awuyenzanga i-nursing or i-medicine, but ungafaka like a pharmaceutical company and ukungena uthi khaqa. Okay, you never did mechanical engineering, but if you sikufaka any company you're selling cars or technical manufacturer of cars, ungena khona ukwazi ukuthi khaqa. So that is you being able to be an accountant that can develop any business. Sikufaka lapho ka mechanic, but you gotta be able to tell, okay, sure, njoba ngifika le company is not profitable, this is the main cause, this is, so from there it involves this in the new market analysis. We go into detail. So as in say introduce, this is what we are talking about. This is what you are developing, you the ability to be able to okay, sure, I'm done now. I think okay, we've also the company develop this business. You are able to develop this mechanical company and now it's profitable, and you say, okay, maybe you are a person who loves challenges. Okay, I'm done with this challenge. I need another challenge. You go into another industry, step into an industry, and you are still able to develop any business. That is the type of influence that we are talking about. Number 3. We want to produce not just only people who are able to develop any business, because they can develop any business at whatever cost. We don't want people who are saying like that, because if we are saying at whatever cost, if it means hurting another person, if it means stepping on somebody's head, no, we ain't talking about that. We're saying everything that you are doing is centered about God. It's you realizing your purpose and making sure and working on it to realize it to be your fullest potential. And when you're in your fullest potential, it goes from you get to here to your financial health. Ne? Okay. So we are saying now we want to produce people that are ethically developed. We want to produce people that are ethically developed. Ngiyakwazi to run a business. I'm able to run a business. I'm able to do this, but still maintain my integrity, still maintain my objectivity, still maintain my confidentiality. I ain't gonna disclose information that I'm not supposed to just to get that contract. I am going to use somebody else's information to get. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, because everything that you are doing and everything that you are saying is centered around God. If your instinct is saying, this is not correct, that is not correct. So, I will so mainly what I will talk about when we are talking about. So now, forgive me, but I want you to follow me as I'm explaining all of these the different points. So we are saying the very first topic into the self-development program, into business development, the very first topic that we are going to cover is you developing a clean mind. Why am I saying you must develop a clean mind? Because the clean mind is the one that is going to be able to drive you to make all the right decisions. That will pave your way into completing your degree. If you want to do CTA, completing your CTA, and that will drive you up until you achieve your dream, if we can put it like that. So you need a clean mind. Ngezulu mangibeyane ngezulu udinga umqondo ophusile oqondile. Ake siyothatha i-break ngosadinga ukuthi ngithi qaphu amanzi kabili. Bafethu, so we are continuing. So we're still talking about, please follow me as I take you through this journey. So I'm saying now, in order for you to be able to discover your purpose, okay, sure, you have now discovered your purpose, but now you want to be able to develop any business. To be able to develop any business, it needs you to make all the right decisions, right? That will make sure that your business is moving forward. And we are saying the ability to be able to make those decisions that will develop any business, you need to develop a clean mind. Ne? Now, in order for you to be able to discover your purpose, you gotta understand one thing. Your purpose is determined way before you are even born. Ne? Look at this, take a look at this scenario right here. Let's say this is your mother and this is your father. Ne? We gotta look at it from the perspective God looks at it when He is creating us, in order for us to be able to understand our purpose, the pain that we go through, the life that we get to live early in our life. That's the life that was determined for us, in order for us to be able to determine our purpose. So umuntu ozothi, "Eish, I was not supposed to go through that, I was still just a child." Nah, whatever you go through, it's made you to be tough so that you can be able to fulfill your purpose. Now, it sounds like I'm preaching, right? But we ain't preaching per se, but we're just talking the truth so that you can understand the how, if we are not a religioning the religion, then we'll say, how can we just flow with the talk and be able to understand? Okay, sure. We are saying this is your mother, mom. Hey, since we are calling throughout but to accommodate everybody, I gotta speak some English. Mom, dad. Yeah. Before we are even born, my mother is living her life. My father is living his life. Some of us, we are firstborns, so it means that my mother was still living her life before she met my father. Even then, all of the same story, and then they met for the first time, then they created me. Then you can say, yeah, Omun is a second, Omun is a third, Omun is into a relationship. You know, all of those things, it starts from there. Why? I won't say a typical example. I will make a typical a bad example and a good example, so that we don't get to be negatively thinking people, but we also get to understand the positive side. Majority of us ngizoyiphatheka nje kanje uthi ngithi ake ngithi majority of us they are born outside marriage. Okay? You look at the percentage of people who are using their mothers' surnames compared to their fathers will be banning. So the majority of us, we are born outside of marriage. They share the statistic. The majority, you can say. And then there are those who are born inside a marriage. Now, when I'm explaining it, I'm going to separate it. I'm going to separate it because, okay, one of the core things that will make self-development program is, okay, me, because of the journey that I've went through my entire life. So all of this is based on my experience, obviously. So there are people who are purely Christian, yeah? So there are those people, majority of them, they believe it's okay, sure, when I'm being born, there is a set of my mother's angels that are allocated to me, and then there's a set, because we understand in the by blood and the lineage. So there will be a set of angels that from my mother's side, and there will be a set of angels from my father's side. They will come, and then when these people they come together and then they form me, then I'm half my mother's side and then I'm half my father's side. We are talking about angels. So if you are purely Christian, talking about angels, God, Holy Spirit, and everything. So they are saying you are going to have a set of your mother's angels. Why? They are there to govern you. They are there to I can explain deeper, but then for the sake of everything I'll be in their goal, I'll just need to have a music. But then the sense of your mother's angels and then the sense of your father's angels. Now, if you are born outside of marriage, according to the law, of God, then there are people who believe in culture. umuntu othi hayi mina ngisakholelwa kubabamkhulu ngisashisa impepho ngisakholelwa emadlozini ngisakholelwa ukuthi ngihlabele ubabamkhulu yonke lonto leyo. So yena uzothi uma ngabe ngizalwa kunamathongo asekhaya kamama noma amadlozi asekhaya komama, then bese kwakhona namathongo asekhaya kobaba asuke allocated mina, then when ngizalwa mina then sekufomisheka mina, then there's an equal set of lamathongo. Why they are there? They are there to govern ukuthi ukukhula kwakho njengomntwana. As long as we're talking, how does this all come into play? Now, if I'm born outside marriage, I am a child that belongs to my mother's side. That is why majority according to your culture yami la ngikhulele khona. Uma ngabe ngizalelwe ekhaya mina, kofanele ngiyohlala ekhaya komama ngoba ngizalelwe kamalume. That is the rule, that is the principle, that is the culture mangasho kanjalo. And then if I was born inside of a marriage, ubaba kusuke sekufanele kube ukuthi he has built a home where we are going to stay. So I'm going to say stay in my father's house or in my father's family, if I put it. If he's created a home, if it's in the rural, he's going to build a home inside his father's yard or something like that. And then if it's in the township, maybe it's purely Christian parent, then they're going to have a house, the township, and then you're going to live here, but you are living under your dad's authority and you're using your dad's surname. So yonke majority of those who are born outside marriage, they are chosen by accounting themselves. English, ne? Okay. They are chosen by accounting itself, ne? And then majority of those that are born inside marriage, from typical my experience, they are those that choose accounting from scratch. I love commerce, I love business, I want to do anything that has to do with business. So, I'm born in a family of business. You understand? I'm born in a family of businesses. Very hence, my father is a businessman or my mother is a business person. So therefore, automatically, in order for me to be able to continue the lineage, I must be able to manage businesses. So very I grew up in a family of business. I love business. That's why I chose accounting. I want to be a CA. Typically, when we are talking about the self-development program, we're talking about the different aspects, the different characteristics, the different people, so that you get to understand the sort of like where you belong, the sort of thinking that you should have, so that you can be able to discover your purpose, that you can be able to be well ethically developed, personally, your personal ability, so that you can be able to conquer any and everything that is put against your way, right? Okay. So after Ma no Baba, so I want to create a typical example of how people can be created. If I'm born outside marriage, it may happen that, let's say, my mother is a virgin and probably she's raised from a Christian family. Then she's told that she has to keep herself, okay, even in a cultural family, she has to keep herself up until she's 21. She's not supposed to sleep with any man up until she's married. The first time that she's supposed to sleep with a man is when she's now married. Okay, my mother doesn't go through that path, unfortunately. She sleeps with a man before, and her punishment for that decision is to conceive a child. Just because at some point having a child is painful, and maybe in majority of instances, if I'm still a young girl, you are still a young girl, and you had that pregnancy young, in most cases the dad leaves, he runs away. But then to stand accountable. That's why it's majority. They're still not in the parent state. So he won't take responsibility. He's still a child. So that pain that you are going to feel as your first baby dead, that baby, that's why majority of the young ladies umuntu khula esenesilonda esithile because of some baby daddy drama, ubaba waphika ingane story and all of those stories. But remember, we are not talking about the mother, we are not talking about the father. We are talking about you, and all of those things will always have an influence in and impact into how when you are born and you are now living in this world up until you choose accounting or accounting chooses you. Ne? We are going to go on a water break again shortly. So we are still saying, if I'm born outside of marriage, they can probably, one of the reasons I may be born is maybe as a punishment to my mother. Sometimes it may be for a good cause. I guess that's a typical example where I'm born outside of a marriage and it's for a good cause. Maybe let's say for an example, my mother has long been wanting a child, maybe but with the current partner that she had, she was not conceiving a child. Then after that, she meets another, and then boom, saying, here comes me. I'm born outside, but to her, it was a precious gift from God, because from the very long time, she's been asking for a child, but she ain't been getting it. But then, boom, after this, and then she finally finds you. So you were created out of joy. So at some point, that has an influence in the type of life that you are going to live and the type of experience that you are going to go through, and how uNkulunkulu can then use you, how God can then use you from all of that creation up until if you want to create a business, because you're there creating businesses. Okay. See, I don't want, okay, this thing is long, because we are talking about at some point we're going to get into the spiritual realms and some of the spiritual touch-ups. This thing is long, but then I'm trying by all possible means, I'm not making it too long so that we also understand. I'm trying so that pick a landing, okay, sometimes this can be happen through this, so that you understand before you are even born, your purpose is already determined. Because as students living in the university life, we can determine the life of a child that you can give birth to is if you're born in so anything and everything. That's why it's so very important. If people can stick to God's principle and God's rule, life would have been better, because majority of the kids will have been born inside marriage with a proper planning and everything. They will be choosing accounting, not be chosen by accounting. Okay, even if you are chosen by accounting, but it's not for any way. That's how it influences us. That sometimes they are not planned, home are planned. I want to tap into that. So when we are born, there are those that are planned, and then there are those that are not planned. That will determine the type of a life that you are going to live. People, guys, the target market of this video is university students. So at some point, you will understand this, because at any point you can be a mother while living your life with Pilele Grove. Boom, is now while living your life, boom, you have to be a father. Will also be picking out because he didn't plan for the child, right? No, I will try to take responsibilities. These smaller choices that we are making, since we have the ability to make a child, will influence another life. You have to understand that at some point. That's why you shouldn't just live recklessly. It's very important to develop yourself throughout this entire university life. You have to develop yourself. You must be ethically developed to be able to run any business, and at some point that relates to making proper, right decisions. If you want a child, I want a child. If you don't want a child, don't put yourself in a situation that can make you create a child, because you are creating another individual. You are going to influence another person. If you were not ready to be a dad, you have to be responsible. You have created a child, but some of us, they don't. It's just a guy who likes drinking and posing, and now when he receives that money, he gotta think, should I pay for this child or should I go have my own fun? Not majority of young men can make a decision to actually say, no, I have to be responsible. Let me give this money to my child. I will not have booze. I will not go drink. I will not go party with my friends. That's why ladies, they have to sit with the pain of making that decision to sleep with that guy, even if you were told not to sleep spiritually. Now we're talking about spiritually. With that voice, those mothers, those ladies, those grannies that govern that precious thing, our precious, they will punish you because you didn't listen each and every time where you are sleeping where you are not supposed to sleep. Your instinct was saying otherwise, but you chose to. Don't take me don't, but I'm just trying to make you understand, Guti. At some point, let us not be reckless, because with our smallest decision that we can make, it influences a whole another individual and how they are going to live. Now, let's get past that. Now, majority, okay, so the ceiling, majority of those who are planned, it's those who choose accounting, and then majority of those who are not planned, it's those who are chosen by accounting. Now, what happens? Because we are not planned in camp, you are going to go through situations that are tough. Okay, see here again, they are not planned. They may be planned, but we are born in a situation of poverty in any way. Not but we are not rich. I cannot get all the toys I want as a child. Now, when growing up, I cannot get all the toys that I want. I cannot watch the TV just like I want. I don't have a TV game. I don't live like all the other child. So having to live through that, and I love poverty because in poverty it creates people that are strong. If you have lived through poverty, if you live through having nothing and try to create something from nothing, then you are ready to be used by God. Yeah? Okay, sure. So we are here with, okay, those who are not praying, mostly they will relate to this. So now, let's come now. Okay, then my mother will be at a stage where she is pregnant with me. I say fast forward, I'm making it longer cool. Then certain things may happen. I want you to understand your life. And then while doing this, we are not trying to pin faults on our parents or look at our parents or look at this and then have anger. I want you to understand and accept that is your life. That is your purpose. That is how God wanted everything to go at some point. How things have been, yes, probably we could have been more faithful, we could have prayed more, we could have done more. We didn't, okay, fine. But the blame at some point is never with God. It's always on us. We have to understand that. But let me fast forward. So how they get to live their life right now is because of a certain situation that happened while her parent, the mother, was still pregnant with them. A certain situation, maybe they and then they were never together again. We never know all this situation, but they're going to influence the type of a life and the type of a purpose God is going to govern for you, the type of a purpose as of whom accidents is there. If we are for though, because any pain is a solution. If I'm living through poverty of not being able to know what I'm going to eat and being able to say, okay, I'm not going to say I don't know what I'm going to eat and complain all the time. I'm going to plant. You are able to create a solution from a problem. And understand when you now start relating to your purpose, I want people whom I'm going to use to help my people, because in this world it's a given. If you are a person that is faithful, you will understand automatically while we are in this world, God's people, we will never be fully happy, never be fully accountable. This world that we dream about, it's the world in the Father's kingdom, obviously. That's a topic for another day. But that's a world that we are going to find in the Father, in our Father's world. What we come here to do is to try to influence positively all that we can by doing our purpose. And while we are doing our purpose, we are winning souls, we are winning people who are going to believe in God, and the kingdom of the Father expands. And while the kingdom of the Father expands, you are going to say, okay, because I was able to do into engilets in the emhlabeni. But if you are not going to influence le nto ukuthi be-center the road yokunkulu uzobuka yonke le process uzokulethela amagqubu ikulethele ingxabano ufuna ukuzonda girl, nah, don't do that. As umuntu who's trying to govern this, don't do that. At some point, we are not here to discuss your life. We are here to discuss your purpose. We are here to discuss your ethical development in accounting. Sazoshaya accounting, sazoshaya auditing, sazoshaya tax, sazoshaya IT, sazokhuluma ngezinto ekazi, sazokhuluma Excel, sazokhuluma Microsoft. We're still going to speak technical stuff, but before we can even get there, you gotta understand your mind. We gotta able to develop a clean mind. The clean mind is so figure out. Okay, mama was pregnant, my situation ezokwenza ukuthi ube happy, let's want to feel happily, or else you are going to go through some stuff. I hate making examples like this, but they're okay at some point. It's sensitive matters. Their parent, while they were still pregnant, they were undergoing through a difficult times. They got hit, and then maybe you end up having disabilities. That, at some point, it's a discovery of your purpose. Because when I wonder who's going to have a life like that, so many other people. But when God is able to take you from that situation of being able to survive all the doubts and all the thinkings negative that you can have about yourself and make it into the university and build a business, it's possible. It's very possible. It's very possible. It's very, but you gotta trust the Lord. You gotta trust the process. You gotta be able to open your spiritual ears. You gotta be able to observe, be the solution. Whatever, there's anything and everything that relates to you understanding why you were chosen by accounting or why you did to choose accounting relates to your purpose, and your purpose relates to serving God, because that's who creates us. And now, okay, you also touch on okay, now I'm not going to touch on this one. Okay, sure. Let's move from pregnant, born. It's a point to let's say, okay, our mother is in the hospital giving birth to us. So many things can happen, and all of those things they determine. Oh, now when you are now born, and whatever happens when you are being born or after you are being born, it shows say what my signs. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. It's now signs. Because each and everything that can happen when you're being born, it's a sign now of saying, okay, this might be this one thing, this might be this. I think that's a typical example. I was watching this series. I'm not one to spell it out, but I'm get a typical example. Let's say when they were being born, the nurses swiped the baby, then swiped with their mother, so the things were your mama. Basically, you were stolen from your mother. Okay. I was watching a series. There was a guy who was on a blacklist, I think. I'm not sure what was the bad thing. Mostly that he was doing that was bad, but majority of what he was doing, he was ensuring that all the stolen babies from their mothers, they are returned to their original mothers. And he goes back to the documents. Maybe I think, maybe it was killing because he was killing maybe the fake mothers or those who stolen. But because he was stolen, he never knew his mother. He knew when he was old that he was stolen. And now he wanted to create a situation where all the stolen babies, they return to their rightful mothers. The only evil thing, because at some point, this one, because he was on a privilege, because at some point he was using that with a negative energy because he was killing at the end of the day. We don't want you to kill at the end, but at least you can create this. So maybe is a genius mind in terms of understanding documents, or a genius mind in terms of IT, tracking, breaking down through systems and tracking people, and and all of that you have to now use it to creating a business. And then that business is creating a solution of ensuring that we find stolen babies. If you suspect that your baby was stolen, you don't see any signs, we'll search, we're going to find. that's a business. People are affected by that. That business can make money. So I want you to understand, it's just like that. It's being used by God. Discovering your life discovers your purpose. Your life discovers your purpose. Okay, as you things are doing, I'm now a child and she by infant. See, I'm body is the thing as infant. I say, imagine 3 to 4. When you are now 3 to 4, you are now starting to shop because you are now able to speak. Now, here comes another element, a big factor, a big factor. Because what makes who you are, first, there are 3 things that contribute to who you are as a person. Like right now as an individual, right now as a student, as a become accounting student. The first thing is the influence of where you grow up, your background. When you are talking about your background, you're talking about high school life. What type of a child were you in your school, high school life, when you are interacting with other kids, your family? What type of a home did you grow up under, and what type of a treatment were you getting? Yeah? And how was that family behaving? So your mind is when you are still a child, when you are in this phase, you copy and copy everything, because your mind is now copying. But there is also we are saying when you are developing a clear mind, we gotta understand 3 things. The first part is understanding the spirituality part. When you are born, you gotta understand. I'll speak like how, don't put me into boxes. I'll speak like how Father is saying I'm speaking. Okay, sure. Some they are born, but then so I'll tap into that and explain clearly so that you get to understand. But then, because of when they are being born here, certain influences, they will not work on them. I'm being born in a background where but me, I'm feeling case by a call. I'm feeling case to ever had a typical situation like that? Obviously you have. That's the spirituality part of you, Okay, so I'm going to say influence, I'm going to say core, root, and then things what imagine influence outside. Okay, I guess it's influence from the internet. When you now get outside and meet new and see there are people like this who exist, they like these things like this who exist, how does that tap into your mind? How does that influence your mind? When you see there was a war there between this tribe and you happen to be this tribe, how does that influence you? Do you say, I'm still part of the fight, I hate them now? Or say like, that was then, I'm living with everybody, I take human beings as a human being, I'm black, there's a white guy, there was a war, they are in our land, we are hungry, the white people, this and that. But you can take them as a human being. It's not like all of those white people, they are like that. Now I'm saying, the internet will have an influence. So many things will trigger your emotions, so many things will trigger your thinking. It's up to you, Uguti. How do you look at things? Do you look at them looking for the positive? And when you're looking for the positive, are you going to influence yourself like that? Or are you looking for the negative and you want to take the negative and conclude with the negative? It all happens to you, and at some point, it goes with your energy centered at the core. When you're looking at a typical situation, what type of energy you get? I'm looking at this video, a white person is beating a black person incorrectly. That makes me anger to hate white people. But it's okay, fine. That makes me angry to hate that specific white person, because it's not like all white person are like that. So it happens to you, you're waiting thinking, when you center everything around God's principle, you'll be able to find a way with like this, how to act in the right way. Okay, so we are called so that for maybe you have a talent, you are able to sing, whatever influence you are you are able to hunt, you can sing or you can dance or whatever influence that you grow up under. Maybe your big brother is playing soccer, then because of your big brother and the bond that you have, you now want to play soccer. Maybe that's not your thing here, to play soccer like your big brother. So your big brother will make it, will be taken in all trials where you got. Why? Because it's not your purpose, but it was your influence. But you've been there, you've played soccer, you've wanted to be able to play soccer, but you are unable. You can now develop a company. They will teach people who really want to be able to play soccer just like you, but they were unable. Figure out the pinpoint strategy. Maybe you are the coach. But sometimes it's so easy to discover your purpose. It's just that we are sleeping on ourselves. We don't want to listen. We don't.
Hey, I woke up one day, feeling anticipated. Yeah, I think I had my chest. I couldn't answer on that little fish. Hey, I just woke up one day, feeling anticipated. Yeah, I think I had my chest. I couldn't answer on that little fish. Hey, what it is I need. We're gonna special to us, so plug on the end and going in.